Hi, today is Easter Monday, April 17th, 2017, and this is A Swede Speaks. And I have to comment on the suicide bombing in Syria yesterday afternoon. A suicide bomb went off at Rashidin, and according to the latest reports that I've seen, there are 126 dead people, and the bomb targeted evacuees leaving the besieged Syrian towns. At least 109 of these people killed were from pro-Assad Shia villages of Al-Fua and Kafraya, and of those, at least 68 were children. This is said to be the worst attack in a year in Syria. No organization has officially, taken responsibility for this yet, so I don't really know. I am guessing this is, since they attacked the pro-Assad villages, or people coming from pro-Assad villages, this is probably the Islamic State attacking Assad. And I am not a big fan of Assad, but I am directly opposed to the Islamic State. And this is really sad. Syria is a very troubled country, so this is really sad, and I'm not surprised. And what can I say? This is what happens with Islam, and especially political. Islam is always political, but in this region, when we have this idea of democracy, there needs to be a lot of fine-tuning to getting something that looks like democracy in Islamic countries, because Islam doesn't distinguish between the political and the spiritual. Christianity does. Jesus clearly said to the Pharisees, "Render unto Caesar that which belongs to Caesar, and unto God that which belongs to God." And by that he drew a line between the political and the spiritual. It's not an absolute line. A president or a king or whatever might well be a Christian, and that's even a good thing. But it means government should not control church, church should not control government, they should be separate entities, and when needed, churches have to oppose the government, like the Confession Church in Germany did during World War II. But in Islam there is no such distinction. In some countries they have tried to get a distinction between the worldly and the political, I suppose inspired by the Western world. But within Islam you have the seed that leads to these kinds of things. And Assad is a crook, of course he is. He's a terrible crook, and he's done lots of bad things. So I don't support him in any way. But the pure idea of what would happen if the Islamic State would take over Syria, or the civil war that might, there's already a civil war in Syria, but the idea of what could happen or what might happen to Syria, that things are only going to get worse, it just scares me. And also, this shows why we should avoid getting Islam into the Western world. We already got lots of it. Thank you for that, naive politicians. But it just shows that if we don't want this kind of conflicts, if we don't want this kind of terror, as we have seen in London, in Stockholm, in Berlin, in St. Petersburg, in Paris, in Nice, in San Bernardino, in New York City, and lots of other places, then we should be very careful with who we allow to enter the Western world. And we need to educate ourselves on Islam, on the political ideas of the Middle East, on all the conflicts. We really need to look into this and what's going on. And I mean, we need to help these countries, but we can't help them by opening up our borders. We can be shining lights of example to follow. That's what we could do, and that's what we should do. And we can send humanitarian aid. But well, that's about it. And we can pray for them, of course. We can and should. Remember, this area, the Levant and Northern Africa, was once the home of a highly cultivated area, a high Christian culture that was driven out by Islam. Don't forget about that. It's not I mean, this has nothing to do with ethnicities. It's not that Arabs or other peoples living in the area would be unable to control themselves. Their minds have been poisoned by Islam. And that's the real issue here. And as long as they keep on clinging to this ideology, this is just going to go on in their home countries and when this ideology is promoted to the Western world. And that's what I have to say about this right now. I would like to thank the people who are supporting this channel through Patreon, through PayPal, through prayers. It's all greatly appreciated. And if you like this channel, please subscribe so you don't miss anything. If you got something to say, feel free to comment. And if you like this video, please like it. And I would very much like to ask you to share this or other videos from this channel. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. So I'm very grateful if you share this video or other videos on Facebook, on Twitter, or whatever. And of course, I would also like to encourage you to support this channel. This is As Sweet Speaks. Have a nice day.